I mean, it just smells like
Bill's not coming,
cabbage.
Joe's gonna be late,
Joe's
Jane
gonna be
is
late.
not coming.
Is there 5 of us?
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you for it.
Yeah.
Jane is not coming either?
No, Jane is not coming either.
Okay.
Bill's not
All right, so
coming.
that's everyone.
Yeah.
All right,
See
did
you
we
up
get?
there later for next discuss.
I didn't check my email.
We got a bunch. I hope he printed
Kind
them.
enough to move over
Of
one,
course.
so Miss Kerry can sit there.
All right, let's do this beginning
Okay.
thing. And we'll. All right, call to order. Yes, please join me in the flag salute. I think I'd have this memorized by now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. The opening statement, as noted on the page. Jeff?
Roll call for this evening, Ms. Falcone Schubert.
Present.
Mr. DeStefano is absent. Mr. Falcone is absent. Ms. Gulan is absent. Ms. Johnson,
Present.
Ms. Turkington,
Here.
Ms. Polachina,
Here.
and Mr. Francis.
Present. Thank you.
Motion to go into closed.
Motion to go into, do I have a motion to go into executive session?
I move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So this is the first time since I've been on the school board that I actually feel valuable. Because if I was away, there would be no meeting right now.
Oh, there you go. And you were almost
I
away.
was almost away. All right. Are we gonna go down the hall?
Take your agenda and.
Take your agenda. comments tonight. One is going to be specific to the budget, and then one is going to be the normal flow. So if there's anybody that's specific to the budget, when we get to that point, whichever one comes first, which one is first?
General.
The general will be first. So if you're specific to the budget, when I call the names on the general, just say, come back to me on the budget, and we'll be smooth. And if you'd like to, you can comment on both. All right. Mr. D.
We're starting off with the approval of minutes as listed in the agenda. We have a motion.
I move the agenda.
Oh, sorry. Writing.
All right, any discussion on the approval of the minutes? Hearing none. Jeff, please call roll.
Ms. Falcone Schubert.
Yes.
Mr. DeStefano is absent. Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Gulon is absent. Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Turkington.
Yes.
Ms. Polachina.
Yes.
Mr. Francis.
I'm just saying that skeptically because I'm trying to remember if I was here, but yes, we're good.
Superintendent's report. Tonight, we have a very long and complicated agenda, which has to do with a significant number of personnel moves. I would ask that people be patient in terms of understanding what we're trying to do. There will be a few resolutions that are changed, and there'll be a few resolutions that are added verbally. Everyone will have a chance to discuss their concerns. The superintendent's report has to do with beginning of a HIB summary. I want to break down what has happened in terms of HIB circumstances that include violence, vandalism, substances, weapons, HIBs. At the high school, so far this year, there have been 2 situations of violence, 4 substance circumstances, no HIBs that have been confirmed. At Durban Avenue, we've had none of those situations. We did have 1 HIB alleged. At the Hopatcong Middle School, we had 1 violence, 2 substances, and 3 confirmed HIBs. At the Tulsa Trail School, we had 1 HIB confirmed. That was the first part of the school year. Second part of the school year, the high school had 2 vandalism, 3 substances, no HIBs. Hopatcong Middle School, 2 substances, no HIBs. Tulsa Trail had none, and Durban had none. The third part of the school year has to do with 2 violence at the high school, 2 vandalisms. What is violence? Violence is mostly a fight. Rarely do they get beyond that. 2 vandalism circumstances, 7 substance standards, no HIBs. At Durban Avenue, there were no incidents except for 1 alleged HIB. At Hopatcong Middle School, 1 violence, 4 substances, and 3 HIBs confirmed. It is not unusual for the middle school to have the most HIB circumstances. Tulsa Trail, we had 1 HIB confirmed. That's a rundown of where we are so far. At the end of June, I will give another report which summarizes for the entire school year. Item 3, I'm very pleased to state that the board committee has reached a memorandum of agreement with the main bodies of the negotiations process. That has to do with the teachers, that has to do with the paras, it has to do with the custodians. We are awaiting the NJEA to provide us with a draft of salary guides, in which case the board will have a chance to look at those and approve them. We have secretarial meetings starting in May. May 1st is our first meeting with NJEA and the secretaries who are in a separate circumstance. Very proud that what took 2 years, last time we negotiated, took only 4 meetings this time. I thank the committee very much. Item 4, we're coming closer to the sale of the garage. As you know, we took bids on that. There was a worry about the top bidder had a worry about Chevron being responsible for the maintenance of water and groundwater testing because it used to be a gas station. That seems to have been we've sort of solved that problem mainly through our board attorney for real estate, who did one excellent job of opening the Chevron Group, and they got the documents they need. So they're looking at the documents. I expect a final of that sale in the near future. Have a second reading and approval of this HIB report for March 23 as presented to the board at the March meeting held on March 20th, 2023, and approval of the superintendent's HIB report for April 2023, first reading and review is presented to the board at April 24th. A motion, please.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Any discussion on that? All right, hearing none. Jeff, please call the roll.
Ms. Falcone Schubert,
Yes.
Ms. Stefano is absent, Mr. Falcone,
Yes.
Ms. Milan is absent, Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Polachina,
Yes.
Mr. Francis.
Yes, thank you.
We have a number of acknowledgements to make, especially students doing very well. Following students were chosen as the high school students of the month: grade 8, Rasa Sarah Joseph; grade 9, Alexander Polichko; honorable mention, Dominic Amella and Christopher Heimel; grade 10, Giovanni Cespedes; honorable mention, Rebecca Bastedo, Caitlin Beach, and Patrick Hummerford; grade 11, Adrian Baez; honorable mention, Joseph Rivera Gonzalez and Gabriel Wecht; grade 12, John Azzopardi. Following students.
I have somebody here.
Who we have here?
John has a party.
Who's here?
John.
John.
Want to do a photo?
I'm going to take care of this.
Great
All right.
job.
Take a photo with Art here.
Your camera might break.
Nope.
Did I say your name right, sir?
Yeah, as part.
Oh, man, that was luck.
Congratulations on your win against Lenape, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Appreciate it for people like you being in our schools. Let's check it out over there.
Yeah.
John. Make sure you get Dad, get a good one.
Mom.
They got all the cameras out.
Congratulations. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you for your help on that.
You're welcome.
Following students were chosen as high school scholar athletes of the month: Jack Luciani, a sophomore from golf, and Jonathan Karam, boys tennis. He's a senior. I must state in public, I heard the golf team did very well against a certain rival of ours, and I am very pleased. Congratulations to Hopatcong Middle School students who made the honor roll for the third marking period. Congratulations to high school students who made the honor roll for the third marking period. This is a great one. The Hopatcong esports team, one of our teams, won the state championship.
Yay.
And made my heart feel good. Congratulations to Max Hugan, grade 8, for his first place finish in the
So
New
good.
Jersey Youth Bass Nation State Champion. I had a friend who was a superintendent in Illinois, and his school district had a bass fishing team. They competed against other bass fishing teams. It was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
We are blessed to have both student representatives here tonight. Young ladies, do we have anything to say? You must speak up, though, because I am deaf.
Julia, sign. Want to wait until?
So this week is high school board registration week. Students can visit vote.nj.gov to register, and that's for anyone who's 17 and 18.
I saw that.
And there's a mandatory senior student parent meeting on Wednesday, 4/26 at 6 p.m. in the high school cafeteria.
May 1st is National College Signing Day, and May 3rd is National, forgive my pronunciation, collegiate.
Collegiate.
Okay,
That was pretty
collegiate
good.
sports signing day.
And May 5th, or 1st through 5th, is Teacher Appreciation Week. Don't forget to thank a teacher.
Ooh, here's one that I'm sure Jackie can reiterate. May 4th through 7th, the high school drama club is presenting Bye Bye Birdie. Performances are from they start at 7 p.m. the 4th, 5th, and 6th, which is my birthday, so I kind of think I'm going to show up the 6th. And 2 p.m. on May 7th.
Not know that.
And then the week after, on May 12th and 13th, the Hopatcong Middle School would be performing original plays written by Carrie Bashy and directed by a handful of high school students in the high school auditorium.
And lastly, the high school is hosting a pop dress shop for high school students, and please contact the main office with any questions or visit room A8 after school.
That is an excellent report. I
Good
thank you
job.
both. Are there any parent-teacher organization representatives?
Well, Julia took my thunder. Though I will say that PTO had a very successful Tricky Tray. Thank you to all who participated and attended the high school Tricky Tray. Not only did PTO win, but Project Grad did win as well. Project Grad raised some great money for that event. Julia mentioned the parent meeting on the 26th for the seniors. So there are a couple of seniors sitting in the audience there. Make sure you come and listen to that, because not only are you going to learn about graduation, but you're going to learn about Project Grad, which is what we have been working so hard for all of this year, raising all kinds of money. Thank you to all of the parents who participated in that. So please, students also come to that meeting to learn about the Project Grad event that's happening the night of graduation, because it's we're kind of excited and proud of that event, because we have a lot of fun stuff and we raised a ton of money to send you guys to that event. So we're looking forward to seeing a lot of seniors and their parents at that meeting on April 26th. And then, of course, everybody will come to the show May 4th, 5th, 6th, and the 7th to see Bye Bye Birdie, and then the following weekend. The middle school has actually got like 1 million members in it. There's like, I don't know, like 500 middle school kids in the middle school drama club. Like, I'm not kidding.
It's great.
There's like a ton of kids in the middle school drama club. And some of our high school drama club students have also helped to direct those shows. So please come to the middle school show the 12th and the 13th, because there will be 2 nights of performances then to not only support the middle school students, but the high school students who helped to direct those shows. Jen?
You stole everything I
That's
had
it?
to say on project graduation. Little League is having their Tricky Tray this Saturday at St. Jude's Church. That's all I got.
One more.
Oh, yeah.
Hudson Farm Hike is on
Mhm.
the 13th of May at the Hudson Farm. This is a free hike. It benefits a lot of different organizations, the fire department, the ambulance squad, the PTOs, the PTSO, Project Grad, a lot of charitable organizations. So go out, sign up, register, volunteer, and hike.
Okay, we're going to public comment. President Francis will invite speakers up.
All right, thank you. All right, so just a reminder, we have a 3-minute rule. There's 5 people on the list. I'm not looking to bang anybody down, but just be cognizant of that. And we're gonna start with Lacey Joyner. No, you don't have to. You can.
Good evening. My name is Lacey Joyner. I'm a junior at Hopatcong High School. Everyone has a teacher that makes them want to go to school and enjoy school/class. That's how Miss Colchese is to me. I've been taking child development since I was a freshman. Before I signed up for the class, I was told I was only doing it for 2 years, but Miss Colchese went over the moon to get child development 3 and 4. I've learned so much over the years. I've had so many opportunities, like for example, I'm CPR certified. I'm a student teacher at Tulsa Trail, and I've been working towards my CDA. Every time I walk into the classroom, I get a good energy, and I always have a smile on my face. If Miss Colchese leaves Hopatcong High School, the child development class, and the preschoolers should be worried. No one will ever be able to replace Miss Colchese. All the parents feel safe and supported when sending their children to Little Chiefs preschool. Even when things got rough during COVID, Miss Colchese worked so hard and made preschool enjoyable. I've made so many friends, memories, and good learning experiences because of child development. I would have never pictured myself being able to talk in front of people and do activities with the kids without her guidance and support. I've never heard so many bad things about a teacher until Miss Haggerty. Having Miss Haggerty.
Excuse me. We cannot talk about staff members in a public meeting. That is against the rules. You need to be careful what you say. I understand what you're trying to say, but you need to be careful. You should not bring any negative comments about a staff member if you don't evaluate them, and obviously you don't evaluate them. I'm sorry.
If Miss Haggerty.
I believe your point is that you would like to see Ms. Colchese continue in the same assignment she has.
Yes.
Okay. And I believe that other people would gladly be speaking to that point also. So please let me, you have other stuff to say?
I can finish right there.
You can-
That's all I need.
Okay. Please understand this. The district has started a universal free preschool. That means that children age 3 and 4, and if they're not of kindergarten, age 5, can attend full-day preschool 6 hours a day for free. The locations right now are the Linden Avenue School in Stanhope. There's a small First Impressions school in Lake Hopatcong, and there will be 2 classes opening up in Durban Avenue this year, next year. There's also a Head Start program in Hopatcong that serves these kids. I do believe that that's going to have an effect on the child care program. Nevertheless, the movement of Ms. Colchese has nothing to do with that. She feels very strongly that the program may continue. The problem is this: when a district cuts teachers due to state aid cuts, it has to follow a certain rule of seniority and a certain rule of certification. So there's another teacher who has the same certification as Ms. Colchese, and she has seniority over that person, and she has the right to the job. I can't do anything about that. I can't change that. That is the rule. Originally, Ms. Colchese was going to lose her position. Tonight, as I stated, there are some changes in the agenda, and I'm very, very pleased that because another teacher took an assignment that she didn't really want, but she understood it would save 2 jobs, Ms. Colchese will be approved to work in one of the new preschool rooms at the Durban Avenue School. That still doesn't comfort you. I realize and respect that. I do say this. It is April 24th. This agenda was started 3 weeks ago. It has been changed a dozen times because things happen very quickly. So I am not guaranteeing that anything will change, but I feel strong in my heart that between now and April 24th and September 1st, there may be changes again, in which case I will gladly respect what you said and what I believe your friends will be saying. But I can't do that now. I have to go by the law. The law is seniority. The law is certification. 2 teachers who have the same certification, seniority wins out. The other teacher did teach the program, and she has the right to it. Ms. Colchese is tenured. She can bump a non-tenured teacher, but there are no non-tenured teachers to bump anymore. However, because of this other staff member, Ms. Pagano from Durban Avenue, volunteered to take a job at the middle school, that opened up a spot. And tonight I'll be verbalizing 2 jobs for teachers who were to be cut. Ms. Keegan and Ms. Colchese will both get a job at Durban Avenue. And like I said, between now and September, a lot of things can happen. So I respect what you're saying, and I appreciate your attendance. I love when young people come and they advocate for something, but I need your patience.
Okay. Francesca Campbell.
Okay, so I just have one question. Whomever is stepping up to her position, will they be able to give us the countless opportunities that Ms. Colchese has given us and will continue to give us in the future?
Ms. Colchese follows a curriculum. The other teacher will follow the same exact curriculum. Will she be as dynamic as Ms. Colchese? I can't answer that question. I have seen her be dynamic, but I can't I can't predict the future. Good question.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I can't read the first name, but Tarantino? But what is it? What is the first name? I want to know. Jada. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was a J or a U. Sorry.
It's okay. So basically the main thing that I want to bring up is something that Ms. Colchese has started with us, which is our CDA, our Child Development Associate Certificate.
Right.
Which over the past 3 years, we have been compiling hours.
I understand.
Towards this. For this specific certification, we have to have all of our hours done under the same teacher, which means that like when you switch it, like
Say that again.
when you
I didn't hear what you said before that. For you to get credit for all those hours, what?
It has to be the same teacher.
Has to be the same teacher.
I'm not aware of that, and I doubt that that's the case, but I will find out.
Okay, and yeah, we've just been working on this for a long time, and I just want to be sure that like, it's a lot of our plans who are like this far in the program so far. It's a lot of our plans to use that for our future once we leave high school. So like that's very important to all of us.
And I must say this. You know about the cosmetology program. Okay, so kids in the cosmetology program go through a similar certification process. But if the teacher changes, that they don't lose their hours. So I got to do some homework on that. And I promise I'll get back to you. Thank you.
Good question.
Very good question. Thank you for bringing it up. Julia, you're good?
Yeah,
Okay.
basically already answered it.
Okay. Sean?
Hi, I'm just here on behalf of the Hopatcong residents that go to St. Therese. And I just wanted to check in and see if there have been any discussions or movement on the busing for next year.
Mr. O'Malley?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I believe I'm in touch with Mrs. O'Malley.
Yes, she's right here. She does talk about it.
All right, so what I did was I contacted, contacted Tim, the principal. I said that if I could get agreement from St. Teresa parents to not take the aid in lieu, if I can get 40 of those parents, and there's between 35 and 40 of them, I believe, I can get a bus route done. It won't be a profitable route. It'll cover 3 towns, but I can do it. But I'm waiting for the data. And Mr. Dunnigan and I go back, way back. I have great respect for him. I have excellent respect for St. Teresa. I respect the families that go there. So I'm doing my best to try to get transportation. But I need a commitment. That's a tough one.
Well, wait, so we need to talk to Dunnigan then? You're saying, like, get the parents together, talk to Dunnigan?
I believe I copied Miss O'Malley on my email.
Yeah, I didn't know if he had,
He hasn't gotten back to me yet.
responded, okay, about those numbers, meaning, and whether or not the parents would forego that.
Here's the difficulty. The reason I'm going to try to articulate this, but it's not easy. The law says a contract for an out-of-district bus can't go over the amount of money paid for aid in lieu. So board members, if you send your child to St. Teresa and you drive that child, you get $1,100 a year aid in lieu. Okay, so if there are 35 kids, it's about $40,000. The reason that Mr. Hollenbeck went through the effort of buying our own buses and hiring our own drivers was because of the cost of the contracts. They skyrocketed. However, the co-op wants to do this for the St. Teresa parents, and will do everything it can to accomplish it. But we just need some commitment from the parents.
We'll talk to Tim and.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
And I'll keep in touch with Mrs.
Thank you. All right. 11.
Is that it?
Item 11 is a long resolution which has to do with mandated appointments. I would ask the board, we reviewed this in executive and we reviewed it at committee meetings. I would ask the board for a resolution on number 11.
I'll move all of 11, A through T.
T.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Jeff, please call the roll.
Motion 11A through 11T, Ms. Falcone Schubert.
Yes.
Mr. DeStefano is absent. Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Gulon is absent. Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Turkington.
Yes.
Ms. Polachina.
Yes.
And Mr. Francis.
Yes, thank you. All right, item 12 is finance. We've got a little bit to go through here. And to start it off, I'm going to ask Jeff to please give a budget synopsis. Synopsis.
Sounds good.
My emphasis was in the wrong spot on that one.
That's all right. So for those of you who are here who spoke, John, your family, you are more than welcome to stay through the rest of the meeting. Please, no one here will be upset if you get up and head out. That's completely fine. So you're not interrupting anybody. You don't have to stay. So for us, this year's budget is predicated on a number of different things. Among them is the notion that our state aid continues to be cut on a regular basis. So we are in year 5 of our state budget cuts. We anticipate losing 90% of all of our state aid by the end of next school year. This year, the state cut approximately $1.1 million in state aid from the school district. In your March meeting, you approved a budget that included a 2% tax increase. And because health insurance premiums in the state health benefits plan skyrocketed by 18%, the state put into place a cap exception to allow school districts to mitigate some of that cost. Your cost, as we've talked about, and for the taxpayers, the cost in health benefit increases alone was over $500,000 just for the months of January through June. So that was unbudgeted increases because the health benefits plan operates on a January through December timeframe, and school budgets operate on a July through June timeframe, right? So the legislature and the governor worked through a number of issues related to state funding. They determined, based on their surplus that the state was holding in excess of multi-billions of dollars, was that they introduced a bill that would reinstate up to 70% of your state aid cuts through something called stabilization aid. That $712,000 will be coming back to Hopatcong as part of your next year budget. The agenda that's posted for you tonight doesn't show that because that law changed in between your first budget and your second budget. So Mr. Francis will be entering a resolution this evening that will rescind the healthcare cap exception and will bring the tax increase down from 3.81% to a 2% increase. Very similar to last year. On the average assessed property in Hopatcong, the average assessed value delineated by the county is $216,000. That tax increase equates to $46.50 for the average home. All right. This evening, the budget, as I've said, Mr. Francis will introduce an amendment, reduces or brings that additional amount of revenue from stabilization aid back into our budget. It's very important that you all remember and the public understands that the stabilization aid that you are receiving in next year's budget will disappear the following year. And that full cut that was supposed to happen this year, unless something changes, will happen next year, in addition to year 6 of your state aid cuts, which is currently projected to be about $500,000. So next year's budget cut, instead of just being $500,000, will be $1.2 million before anything else happens. In addition to that, we've discussed that federal ESSER and stimulus aid as a result of COVID will go away. Included in this year's budget is almost $1 million in COVID aid that was provided by the federal government. So when you approve this evening's budget and you look a year from now, without inflation, without salary increases, without healthcare cost increases, you will start next year's budget season from a revenue standpoint about $2.1 million less than you have this year. And I think it's important that, again, that I reiterate that to you and I reiterate that to the public. All right? Everything that is laid out in here, as Mr. DiBenedetto pointed out, the stabilization aid will bring back several teaching positions that were initially proposed to be cut. Again, who comes back and in what positions is all determined by statute based on certification and seniority, as we've already discussed this evening. All right? Are there any questions that I can answer for the board first? And then I'll turn to members of the public and answer any of the questions that I might for them.
Very good explanation, Jeff.
I know we've talked about it a lot. At this point in time, it's going to be item 12, A1. We'll open the meeting to public comment and questions on the budget and the budget only. Are there any questions from any member of the public that I can answer this evening? Hearing none, Mr. Francis, we're going to go ahead and close the public portion of the comment on the budget, and we'll move to item 12A2 and 3, which are the resolutions for acceptance of the stabilization aid and the resolution that will approve the preliminary budget as adopted this evening. And Mr. Francis has that to read into the record.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. All right. Bear with me on this one, folks. Whereas pursuant to PL 2023C32, the state of New Jersey has awarded identified school districts with supplemental stabilization aid, and whereas the Hopatcong Board of Education has been allocated $712,854.12 during the 2022-23 budget year, and whereas the intent of the legislation was to allow districts to use the additional aid in the 23-24 budget year, the Hopatcong Board of Education directs the superintendent and the assistant superintendent for business to complete the required application to accept this funding, inclusive of the planned use of funding to retain teaching staff members. Therefore, be it resolved that Hopatcong Board of Education accepts the supplemental stabilization aid allocation in the amount of $712,854.12 and wishes to appropriate this funding in the 2023-24 budget in accordance with the guidelines published by the Division of Finance and Business Services.
Good job.
Number 2. Oh no, we're halfway.
Sorry, my bad.
It's a good thing I had my Frosted Flakes this morning. Item 2, approval of the following resolution for submission of the revised 23-24 school budget to the Sussex County Superintendent. Whereas the superintendent has presented to the Finance Committee and other members of the Hopatcong Board of Education a recommended 2023-24 school district budget in the total amount of $37,001,185.44 as follows. And whereas the board approves a local tax levy of $26,118,006, whereas the local tax levy will increase by 2%, amount of $512,118. Therefore, be it resolved, the Hopatcong School District 23-24 budget for submission to the Sussex County Superintendent's Office is approved as amended at the meeting of April 24th, 2023. And there's a chart. The total budget, $37,249,875.44.
That was
There a motion to approve?
I will move all of that.
It's going to be A, 1 through 3. 1 being the public comment, 2 being the stabilization resolution, and 3 being approval of the amended budget.
Yep, I will move A1 through 3.
Is there a second?
Yep, second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
We're just discussing A, right? We're not doing B through I right now. Okay, no.
Okay. Hearing none, Jeff, please call the roll on A, 1 through 3.
Ms. Falcone Schubert,
Yes.
Mr. DeStefano is absent. Mr. Falcone,
Yes.
Ms. Gulon is absent. Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Clippington,
Yes.
Ms. Polachina,
Yes.
Mr. Francis.
Yes. Thank you, Jeff. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at item 12B through I, it looks like. Okay, is there a motion to approve B through I?
Move 12, B through I.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on 12B through I?
I just have a question about I. Check number 80404. Someone didn't cash that?
So, yes,
I mean, it's in my
Um,
pocket, but, you know.
it seems silly. This is actually a tuition check paid to a private vendor that they received the check, but did not deposit it right away, did not record it properly onto their books and never cashed the check. So what happens in this case is we will write off the checks. We reach out to each of the individuals for each of these checks to reissue the check to them. On a second reissuance, if the check is not cashed, it's written off, and then the money comes back into
The
the
budget.
audited portion of the budget as excess surplus.
This is the first write-off?
Yep.
Okay. Let's hope they don't cash the second.
Any other discussion?
You have to say.
All right, Jeff, please call the roll.
Motion 12B through 12I, motion by Ms. Turkington, second by Ms. Polachina, Ms. Falcone Schubert.
Yes.
Mr. DeStefano is absent. Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Guzman is absent. Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Turkington.
Yes.
Ms. Polachina.
Yes.
And Mr. France.
Yes.
Item 13 is personnel. The beginning is usual new hires and things such as that. That goes from A to J. Please note that starting at J, we're talking about the rehiring of tenured teachers, contract renewals for 23-24. Again, the salaries in there are this year's salary as we await a new salary guide. That takes us over to the next page and the page after that. And then we go to item K, approval of the following non-tenured HEA contract renewals. So far, so good. Item L has to do with HEA custodial maintenance staff members. Item M has custodian maintenance staff member non-pensional stipends. Item N has to do with the Hopatcong Office Personnel Association members. Again, please note that these are this year's salaries that need to be updated once negotiations are completed. Item O has to do with confidential staff members who work at the Board of Education office. Item P has to do with members of the Hopatcong Association of Principals and Supervisors. Item Q. Those are non-tenured teachers whose programs are being cut and are not being rehired. Item R, please ink out items 1 and 2, 81100 and 81340. Both of those teachers will be rehired, and both of them will go to the preschool Durban Avenue classes pending approval of the preschool state-funded budget. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to pass this reduction in force item with one remaining person on it, and then I'll rehire those people at the end after the addendum. Items S through W are just very basic things that we do all the time. Same with item X. I would ask for a motion to approve the personnel section of the meeting.
I will move A through X with the changes made under Q for those two teachers.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. Jeff, please call the roll.
The motion to approve 13A through X as amended. Ms. Falcone Schubert.
Yes.
Mr. Stefano is absent. Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Gulon is absent. Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Turkington.
Yes.
Ms. Polachina.
Yes.
And Mr. France.
Yes. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, item 14 is travel and professional development, nothing unusual. Item 15 is policy and regulations, nothing unusual. Item 16 has to do with students and services, well populated by recommendations from Mrs. Miller. Item 17 has to do with the fact that two of our staff members get paid through Title I funds. We must report that each year on an agenda. I would ask for a resolution passing 14 through 17.
I'll move it.
I'll second. All right, any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. Jeff, please call the roll.
Motion for items 14 through 17A. Ms. Falcone Schubert.
Yes.
Stefano is absent. Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Gulon is absent. Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Turkington.
Yes.
Ms. Polachina.
Yes.
Mr. Francis.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I would like to go, I know. You want to finish our agenda first and then go to the co-op? Would you like to do a co-op next?
Oh, I see what you're doing. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, keep going.
All right, I got to get the right.
Throwing
piece of
curveballs
paper.
at me up here.
Pay attention, though.
That's it.
All right, our addendum, items A through F are intact. Item G, where it says April 17th, 2023, we need to change that until further notice. Then item H, I would like to recommend the rehiring of Ms. Keegan and Ms. O'Casey for the preschool program, subject to approval of our budget in the preschool grant. And then we're going to have item I, Mr. Francis.
All right, so item I will be, board approves the appointment of Jason Citrick to fill a vacancy of the Board of Education through a board's reorganization meeting in January of 2024.
We have a motion for the addendum items.
I'll move A through I.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Jeff, please call the roll.
The motion for addendum items A through I. Ms. Falcone Schubert.
Yes.
Mr. DeStefano is absent. Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Gulon is absent. Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Turkington.
Yes.
Ms. Polachina.
Yes.
Mr. Francis.
Yes, thank you, Jeff.
Item 18 is the Sussex Regional Cooperative Agenda. Again, there is nothing unusual here. They continue to do good business, and we're very pleased with the leadership.
Move A through F.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the co-op? Right,
Thank you to the
None.
buses for the great buses for Project Rad, whoever worked that magic. So yes, thank you.
He's the bus man.
Yeah.
busman.
Thank
All
you.
right, busman, please call the roll.
I need the motion in the second, I'm sorry. Moved by Ms.
Jackie and
Turkington,
Jen.
seconded by Ms. Polachina.
Yeah.
Ms. Falcone Schubert.
Yes.
Stefano is absent. Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Gulon is absent. Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Turkington.
Yes.
Ms. Polachina.
Yes.
Mr. Francis.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. All right. Last item is board member comments, starting with Jackie.
Thanks for coming. Have a great night. May 4th through 7th.
Thank you for coming, and all senior parents, don't forget to come Wednesday night to talk about all the senior activities, especially project graduation. It's going to be amazing.
I know they're not here, but you can thank them, the students, for coming. I think it's great to have them, to hear their comments, and there really were some insightful questions, so we'll look into that. I know he's not here, but I want to welcome Jay, because excited to work with him and hear his perspective on things. And I just want to say congratulations to the employees who are retiring tonight for the purpose of retirement. Hope you enjoy your well-deserved eternal summer break. Know that you've had an immense impact on our community and your students, and we greatly appreciate your service.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to echo what Nicole said about the ladies who came here and advocated for their teacher. I think it's rare when you do have a teacher that inspires you and you know, has an impact on your future, and to come to a forum like this at a young age and fight for that teacher, I think it was pretty remarkable. So I thank them for coming and doing that. That's it.
Jen?
I wanted to thank the young ladies for coming tonight. I know it takes a lot of guts to get up in front of everybody, in front of a board and in front of people in the audience and talk about how you feel, especially about a teacher. And I know, and I'm sure we all have that one special teacher in our lives that we remember that just made it a difference. And I think it was really important for these ladies to come out and talk. And I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit, me and Jen and Scott a little bit. We did a great job, and Mr. Di Benedetto on the negotiations committee. I think we did a really great job, and it was wonderful and an honor to work with all of you guys. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. A couple of things. The first thing is I wish I had the awareness when I was in high school to do something like that, and I hope that all those students get to hear what we're saying up here. That was cool, and I think that I'll just leave it at that. I appreciate that. The second thing is, I want to, and I know there's not a lot of people here. I hope that the thing is on and everybody's surfing Facebook to hear what we're saying, because where we're at right now in the district is no less important than we were 3 years ago. And for those of you that have been coming to these meetings and you think about, I've been here 6 years. This is my 6th year. If you think about what was happening here in this room 6 years ago, what's happening in this room now, what was happening with the public 6 years ago, and what's happening now, I think we've got a lot of people who have turned from opposition to advocate. And I think that that's really cool. I think it's a testament to the administration, all of you, right? From Art to the principals and everybody working together and getting things done. I think it's a huge testament to the board, right? And I want to thank everybody sitting up here. I'll say it every meeting. I have the easiest job in the world. We had just about the smoothest budget season I've ever seen. Joe is the chair of the finance committee, with Jeff and Art and the other members of the committee. I never even thought that something could happen so smoothly because of past experiences, which weren't bad experiences, just different, right? So I think that was awesome. I'm excited. Congratulations to Jason to have him up here. Hopefully, if we can get that done and pretty quickly. Everyone that works for us, right? Kerry, Jeff. I was driving past Sarinelli the other day, right? Thank him, even though it's not his season really. And then the last thing is, just the topics and some of the things that we're talking about. I don't know how much I can say without getting in trouble, but we just had an interesting discussion in executive session about a topic that's going to be pretty volatile, I think. And the outcome was, let's have a meeting about it. Let's talk with the community and hear thoughts from people. And the civilized way that we're doing it now is cool. And I hope that continues for many, many, many years to come. All right. I'm long-winded tonight. I apologize. Thank you all for coming.
3 minutes apply to you too, right?
That's right. That's right. Put a muzzle on me. The Rangers are playing the Devils right now. Yeah.
Just wanted to say, I did hear about what happened with Mr. Gruenfelder, and I want to give my condolences.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Shit, I forgot to do that.
And that is it. So is there a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Actually, everybody have a great night. Thank you.
Yeah, Liz is my friend. His daughter is one of my friends.
Remember when we used to come to these here tomorrow night?
I
remember that.
I was She is a social worker.
1
o'clock in the morning, I think, is our latest meeting here.
The most tender